Hi, Colts. It's Mrs. Hladun. I'm here to read a little bit more from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I hope you're having a really great day. It was a lovely day to be outside. Today was kind of funny because I was on campus and there were a ton of squirrels on campus. So that was something that was a little bit different and unique. I saw a squirrel as soon as I got out of my car, and then they were running around all over campus picking up I don't know what, berries, nuts, seeds, things that were falling out of the trees. But it was kind of fun to see the squirrels all over campus. Okay, today we're going to read chapter 26 and chapter 27 from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Ooh, actually, we're just going to read chapter 26 because 27 is really long. So we're going to read chapter 26, and this chapter is titled The Television Chocolate Room. So you might remember that the last chapter we read took them in this like crazy elevator, a glass elevator that took them all over this shop, and Mrs. TV almost got sick on the elevator. And they stopped in a place called the Television Chocolate Room because that is Mike TV's favorite thing to do is watch TV. So here we go. Chapter 26, The Television Chocolate Room. The TV family, together with Charlie and Grandpa Joe, stepped out of the elevator into a room so dazzlingly bright and dazzlingly white that they screwed up their eyes in pain and stopped walking. Mr. Wonka handed each of them a pair of dark glasses and said, "Put these on quick and don't take them off in here, whatever you do. This light could blind you." As soon as Charlie had his dark glasses on, he was able to look around in comfort. He saw a long, narrow room. The room was painted white all over. Even the floor was white, and there wasn't a speck of dust anywhere. From the ceiling hung huge lamps, bathed the room in brilliant blue-white light. The room was completely bare except for the far ends. At one of these ends, there was an enormous camera on wheels, and a whole army of Oompa Loompas was clustered around it, oiling its joints and adjusting its knob and polishing its great glass lens. The Oompa Loompas were all dressed in the most extraordinary way. They were all wearing bright red spacesuits, complete with helmets and goggles. At least they looked like spacesuits, and they were working in complete silence. Watching them, Charlie experienced a queer sense of danger. There was something dangerous about this whole business, and the Oompa Loompas knew it. There was no chattering or singing among them here, and they moved about all over the huge black camera slowly and carefully in their scarlet spacesuits. At the other end of the room, about 50 paces away from the camera, a single Oompa Loompa, also wearing a spacesuit, was sitting at a black table gazing at the screen of a very large television set. "Here we go," cried Mr. Wonka, hopping up and down with excitement. "This is the testing room for my very latest and greatest invention, television chocolate." "But what is television chocolate?" asked Mike TV. "Good heavens, child, stop interrupting me," said Mr. Wonka. "It works by television. I don't like television myself. I suppose it's all right in small doses, but children never seem to be able to take it in small doses. They want to sit there all day long, staring and staring at the screen." "That's me," said Mike TV. "Shut up," said Mr. TV. "Thank you," said Mr. Wonka. "I shall now tell you about this amazing television set of mine and how it works. But first of all, do you know how ordinary televisions work? It's very simple. At one end, where the picture is being taken, they have a large movie camera, and you start photographing something. The photographs are then split into millions of tiny little pieces, which are so small you can't see them. And these little pieces are shot out into the sky by electricity. In the sky, they go whizzing around all over the place until suddenly they hit the antenna on the roof of somebody's house. Then they go flashing down the wire that leads right back to the back of a television set. And there they get all jiggled and joggled around until at last every single one of those millions of tiny pieces is fit back into its right place, just like a jigsaw puzzle. And presto, the photograph appears on the screen." "That isn't exactly how it works," Mr. TV said. "I'm a little deaf in my left ear," Mr. Wonka said. "You must forgive me if I don't hear everything you say." "I said, that isn't exactly how it works," shouted Mike TV. "Oh, you're a nice boy," Mr. Wonka said, "but you talk too much. Now then, the very first time I saw ordinary television working, I was struck by the tremendous idea. 'Look here,' I shouted, 'if these people can break up a photograph into a million pieces and send the pieces whizzing through the air and then put them together again at the other end, why can't I do the same thing with a bar of chocolate? Why can't I send a real bar of chocolate whizzing through the air in tiny pieces and then put the pieces together at the other end all ready to be eaten?'" "Impossible," said Mike TV. "You think so?" cried Mr. Wonka. "Well, watch this. I shall now send a bar of my very best chocolate from one end of this room to the other by television. Get ready there. Bring in the chocolate. Immediately, 6 Oompa Loompas marched forward, carrying on their shoulder the most enormous bar of chocolate Charlie had ever seen. It was about the size of the mattress he slept on at home. Okay, here we go. So this is Mike TV and Mr. Wonka and the Oompa Loompas carrying the chocolate. Do you see how they have their funny glasses on so that it's not so bright? All right, what do you predict is going to happen? Do you think it's going to work? I don't know. We'll have to find out. It has to be big, Mr. Wonka explained, because whenever you send something by television, it always comes out much smaller than it was when it went in. Even with ordinary television, when you photograph a big man, he never comes out on your screen any taller than a pencil, does he? Here we go then. Get ready. No, stop. Hold everything. You there, my TV, stand back. You're too close to the camera. There are dangerous rays coming out of that thing. They could break you into a million tiny pieces in 1 second. That's why the Oompa Loompas are wearing space suits. The suits protect them. All right, that's better. Now, then, switch on. One of the Oompa Loompas caught hold of a large switch and pulled it down. There was a blinding flash. The chocolate's gone, shouted Grandpa Joe, waving his arms. He was quite right. The whole enormous bar of chocolate had disappeared completely into thin air. It's on its way, cried Mr. Wonka. It's now rushing through the air above our head in a million tiny pieces. Quick, come over here. He dashed over to the other end of the room where the large television screen was standing, and the others followed him. Watch the screen, he cried. Look, here it comes. The screen flickered and lit up, and then suddenly a small bar of chocolate appeared on the middle of the screen. Take it, shouted Mr. Wonka, growing more and more excited. How can you take it? Asked Mike TV, laughing. It's just a picture on a television screen. Charlie Bucket, cried Mr. Wonka. You take it. Reach out and grab it. Charlie put out his hand and touched the screen, and suddenly, miraculously, the bar of chocolate came away in his fingers. He was so surprised he nearly dropped it. Eat it, shouted Mr. Wonka. Go on and eat it. It'll be delicious. It's the same bar. It's gotten smaller on the journey, that's all. It's absolutely fantastic, gasped Grandpa Joe. It's a miracle. Just imagine, cried Mr. Wonka. When I start using this across the country, you'll be sitting at home watching television and suddenly a commercial will flash onto the screen and a voice will say, eat Wonka's chocolates. They're the best in the world. If you don't believe us, try one for yourself now. And you simply reach out and take one. How about that, eh? Terrific, said Grandpa Joe. It'll change the world. And that's the end of chapter 26. Okay, do you want to know what the title of chapter 27 is? Do you have any thoughts about what it might be? Which character do we know so far who loves television? The 2 children left are Charlie Bucket and Mike TV. Do you remember which one likes TV? Okay, the next chapter is called chapter 27, Mike TV is sent by television. Interesting. I'm just realizing this, but you see how his name is spelled? T-E-A-V-E-E, but it sounds like TV. And what do we call a television for short? A TV? Who knew? Okay, you guys, look at how few pages we have left. We're almost done with this book. I can't wait to finish it soon. Tomorrow we'll read chapter 27, and then maybe we'll do the last few chapters all in one big swoop. We'll see. Okay, friends, I hope you have a great day. Be good to your friends and your neighbors and your moms and dads, and I'll see you soon, all right? Bye, friends. See you later.